2025 is a special year. It marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the International Women's Day and the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, the most visionary roadmap on women's rights. As a look back at the strides that women in the global south have made, this is their story of resilience and the fight for a more equitable future. Ayushi Ahuja reports.
Must invest in women and girls, turbocharge progress and build a better world for all, and I thank you.
Just last year, a day before International Women's Day, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres made a stunning statement that gender equality is still 300 years away.
At our current rate of change, full legal equality for women is some 300 years away. So is the end of child marriage. And by 2030, over 340 million women and girls will still be living in extreme poverty, some 18 million more than men and boys. This is an insult to women and girls.
3 centuries. That's longer than the time it took humans to advance from the steam engine to artificial intelligence. And longer than the United States has existed as a nation. But here's the thing. Women, especially in the global south, don't have another 300 years to wait. They are leading, building, creating and changing the world right here and right now. Take Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwa, Namibia's first woman president. She did not run to make history. She ran because leadership isn't a man's birthright. Her election is proof that the world is changing, but also a reminder of how long it took to bring about change. Or Malala Yousafzai, who was just a schoolgirl when a gunman tried to silence her for demanding an education. He failed, and how? Today, Yousafzai is the youngest Nobel laureate in history, ensuring millions of girls get the education they deserve. In architecture, Marina Tabassum is redefining how people live. Her climate-resilient homes in Bangladesh are not just structures. They are a blueprint for survival in a warming world. Then there is Nadia Murad, who survived the terrorist group Islamic State's captivity and turned her pain into a movement. A Nobel Peace Prize winner, Murad fights to end sexual violence in conflict zones because war should never mean a woman's body becomes a battlefield. Elsewhere, in Burkina Faso, Maimouna Ba is rebuilding shattered lives, helping displaced children return to school and women regain financial independence. Deepti Gurung in Nepal refused to accept that her daughters were stateless just because their mother, not their father, was a Nepali citizen. Today, thousands of children have a legal identity because of her fight. And from the world of cinema, India's Payal Kapadia has shattered expectations. In 2024, she won the Grand Prix at the Cannes Film Festival for her fiction feature debut, All We Imagine as Light. The film also earned her a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Director, an extraordinary feat in an industry where women directors are still a minority. Kapadia, Gurung, Ba, Murad, Tabassum, Yousafzai and Nandi-Ndaitwa. They're not waiting. They're not asking for permission. They are taking action. And yet, women are still paid less, promoted less, and protected less. Despite laws and policies, gender equality remains a distant promise. The 2025 International Women's Day theme is Accelerate Action. This year is also special. It marks 30 years since the Beijing Declaration, the blueprint that transformed the women's rights agenda. Before 1995, only 12 countries had legal sanctions against domestic violence. Today, there are 1,583 legal measures in 193 countries. A huge leap. But here's a reality check. A law on paper does not mean justice in real life. So what's next? More laws? More promises? Or more action? Because these women, these trailblazers, aren't waiting. And neither should we. Women's lives matter, period.
For years, women have been told to be patient. That change takes time. But the women of the Global South have proven something else. That change happens when you refuse to wait. From education to leadership, science to activism, they are reshaping the world. So today, on International Women's Day, let's celebrate them. Not just with words, but with action. Because equality isn't a favor, it's a right. Happy International Women's Day to all the trailblazing women out there. May your stories inspire generations to come. Ayushi Ahuja for DD India.